Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me on archive. D-Style here. What's going on, everybody? Let me do a quick sound check right now as it started low. The sound is good. This is D-Style Boxing Live on Thursdays. I'm being joined by Boxing Conversations, Reggie Owens. Reggie, what's going on, bro? Let me do a sound check with you.
Oh man, just in here about to get into this deep boxing talk with you once again, my brother.
Absolutely. Make sure you guys, like in our reality, man, make sure you throw a jab at that like button. All right. And before anything, as you come in, if you're listening on archive, you throw that jab at that like button. Did a lot of Pacquiao Thurman talk and all that. During this week, you guys could check those videos out. What to bet. We did that yesterday for that fight in particular. And the polls tonight at the end of the show, I'll be announcing officially who the next appreciation week will be for. So far, let me just cheat for a moment. All right. Can you guys see this? Can you see that, Reggie?
I see that. Yes, indeed.
All right. Make sure you guys vote for Morales. Okay. I want like a big upset, come from behind victory for Morales. Maybe he'll defeat the great Roy Jones, although it's not likely. Okay, how do you vote? You go to the community page. If you're listening in archive and it's already done, remember, go to DStyleBoxing, go to my community page, and right there, man, we always have the polls. Be on the lookout for those. I always announce them anyway. I've not done a single video specific for Bradley. We'll end the show talking about him a little later tonight. But I will get it done, though. I will get that done. I have a whole week to do it, man, because we're not going to start the next appreciation week till next week anyway. All right. Before we get started, we all know about the tragic passing of Whitaker. Reggie, we were just talking about Whitaker the other day, offline. We were talking about Whitaker, about the De La Hoya fight and all that, man. And just so people know, I told Reggie on the phone I had Whitaker winning that fight before the news, you know what I mean? But it's crazy, man, that we were just talking about Whitaker and then he passed away. You have any quick thoughts about Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker?
Man, hey, I was lightweight hurt by that one, especially like when we were talking about him. So it brought him back to notice. Watching Blood's documentary on him, it kind of put me in a moment where I was hoping to run across Pernell Whitaker to put him to, bring his attention to that documentary Blood had done on him. And also just to meet him and possibly do an interview. But it was just crazy for us to be talking about that and talking about the fight, the upset. And when I heard it, man, I just didn't believe it was true. I mean, I wanted to believe that it wasn't true. And I was searching everywhere, didn't find it on a lot of the major sources, but mainstream media is kind of slowing information. And when I found out it was true, man, it was hurt. It was hurtful, man, to see a great go out like that, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. So shout out to everybody out there in the chat, man. We have DJ Mexicanos at Texas. We have AJ10 saying what's going on to the chat. Clifton Bronson, salute to D-Style chat. And we're joined by Reggie Owens as well, guys, today as the co-host. We got Don ZB said salute to D-Style Rivas. We'll beat the shit out of Whyte on Saturday. We will get to that fight, but first, before anything, I want to start with the Celeb Plant versus Mike Lee fight. Let me just give these this really quick, okay? Mike Lee's 18-0, 10 KOs. Plant's 18-0, 10 KOs. Lee's 21-0 with 11 knockouts. Both orthodox fighters. Look, man, Celeb Plant, he's really good with rolling with shots. Pretty decent hand speed, pretty good hand speed, especially for 168 pounds. I think he has a really good jab, very underrated jab. I think he has solid power. I don't think he has devastating power, but it's solid enough to keep you off of him and enough to knock some guys down, even get some knockouts. So we'll see how it goes in this fight, but he's really good off the counters. He's good at attacking you when he has you against the ropes. Really good at that. He's good at placing shots. He doesn't just throw combinations. Really good situational awareness. He's a type of fighter, man. He throws that jab, And depending on what you do, that's where the next punch is going to come. And that's what I like about Silip Plant. Mike Lee, you know, the right hand is his money punch to me. He puts punches together. He's a good combination puncher. Some people might say, oh, well, that's a good thing. Both of them have a little bit of volume in them. But to me, Mike Lee is going to get caught throwing those combinations because I think Mike Lee already has it processed when he's going to throw the combination. So if he already has that, I'm going to throw a jab, this. I'm going to throw a jab, a right hand, and a hook to the body, and then a hook, and then I'm going to come upstairs, up top, or something. If he already has that in his mind, all right, he throws it. Where I think Silip Plant, right, I think he's going to count. He's going to catch him in between those. I got Plant winning this fight. How do you see this fight, Reggie?
I see Plant pulling this one off as well. Plant is a great counterpuncher. He will find his moments in which he can slip his punches in on Lee. Lee is a dude who doesn't have great punch placement. He, like you state, he throws off in these combinations, and he's kind of just winging them off. He kind of likes to have a fighter squared up in front of him where he'll box him in, and he lets off these combinations, which he doesn't have accuracy. A lot of times he's looking off from his punches, probably to tuck his chin down and throwing off punches. Caleb, having great footwork, great movement, will be able to spin out, change the direction, get this guy in an uncomfortable direction, and begin to tag him. But he will find moments in which he'll tag Mike Lee. Not sure if he'll knock Mike Lee out, being Mike Lee is a bigger guy coming from the next weight up. But he's just going to school Mike Lee, possibly break him down to the body and see if he can. If he begins to wear down on Mike Lee, maybe he can get the stoppage just based on Mike Lee not being able to swim. So I got Caleb Plant as well.
Look, I think what I like about Plant is his transition from offense to defense is just smoother, right? He'll make a guy miss. He'll turn him, right? He's really good at turning guys when they're trying to get him against the ropes, and then he'll have him against the ropes. And he's so good with that punch placement. It has a lot to do with his pivots, the little subtleties in his pivots impresses me even more than him kind of moving around the ring. Okay. I think it's going to stop Mike Lee. I don't know how Mike Lee can stop Silip Plant from putting it on him. It's going to be a TKO, in my opinion, a late stoppage. That's what I think. Am I way off, Reggie?
No, and I would love to see that because it will make a statement for Caleb Plant going into that next bout, possibly against Benavidez. It'll be a great statement, a great buildup for him and for Benavidez if that's possible. But if he can get the stoppage over Mike Lee, undefeated fighter, that'd be great for him. And I'm hoping for that because I really like Caleb Plant.
Absolutely, man. And of course, this is for the IBF Championship. And Sweet Hand, Silip Plant, White Bear, Mike Lee, you know, both undefeated fighters. Somebody's always got to go. It looks like we're in agreement on that. If anybody has a different thought on the chat or thinks something different's going to happen, let us know. I want to give a shout out to Scrapbook Boxing. What's good, D-Style? He says, jab the like button. That's right, guys. Jab that like button. All right. And Fernando V in the house. That's not Fernando Vargas, is it? Maybe. No. I don't think it is. But once Canelo beats Andre and Charlo will claim Canelo is ducking Wilder and should pay $30 million. I don't think anyone is going to be claiming Canelo is going to beat ducking Wilder, bro. And I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, to be honest with you. But I mean, we'll see. He has to fight Charlo and Andrade first, and then once he fights him, then we'll know, okay, how people will react. Okay. It's not unreasonable to ask guys to fight the best in their weight class, right? I mean, you're being, I know, you know, I'm trying to find the right word for it. The word escaped me. Like, I know you're being sarcastic and to make a point, but come on. All right. You have any final thoughts about Silip Plant against Mike Lee, Red Jones?
No, man, I just want to see him go out there and perform at the highest level, go in there, mix it up. He has to make it entertaining because one of the knocks they try to make on Caleb Plant was him not being entertaining enough. So him and Yuskatagi, he put all that to hush. He went in there, he banged, he let the hands go, and he engaged. So he can go in here, entertain by offense, Why mixing in that defense? He'll shine in this one, but definitely tag this dude up. Put some leather on this dude's face, and that's really what Caleb Plant needs. So that way he can hush all the naysayers who try to, kind of try to backslide his career, trying to slow down the rising of his profile. So yeah, he just got going there, bang with this dude, style on him, and embarrass him. And man, but can't wait to see it, and that undercard fight too.
Absolutely. Who would you like to see him set up Plant fight next? I mean, we have quite a few champions right now. I'd like to see some unification here. Chris Eubank Jr., Anthony Terrell, Billy Joe Saunders. Anyone in particular you like to see him fight?
Benavidez, because Benavidez bringing him and Billy
Yeah.
Joe will be their styles wouldn't be entertaining. It'll just be too much moving around, not enough engaging. Him and Benavidez is definitely what I want to see. They don't like each other. There's been years of them going back and forth. Hey, somebody's getting knocked out in that fight, and that's the one I
Yeah.
definitely want to see.
I can definitely I see what you mean with that for sure. Let me check out the chat here really quick. Set up Plant with the wins is AJ10. He's in agreement. All right. And again, you guys make sure you subscribe to Scrapbook Boxing. He's in the chat. Click on his name. Okay. Write down the name. Subscribe to his channel. The next fight I want to talk about here, man, the big fight. As far as, besides Pacquiao Thurman, of course. But the other one people have been asking, hey, Dillian Whyte versus Rivas. Dillian Whyte versus Rivas. Before we talk about the fight, Reggie, I want to first tell people to throw that jab. Let's get to 10 likes. We're at 9 likes. Let's get to 10. Right? It was announced it was for the WBC Interim Championship. Another belt at heavyweight, apparently. What are your thoughts about the WBC's decision to make this for the WBC Interim Championship?
It's not what they wanted. I think it just plays them. I don't think it's not a title eliminator.
Right.
It doesn't really do anything for him. I think they were saying something about given he possibly gets the opportunity after Wilder fights Fury, which I don't think is going to happen. I think it's just another belt that sits somebody in the holding pattern. But they playing this dude. They ain't gonna give him what he wants. They've been playing the WBC, but I don't think he's gonna get it.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, man. I don't like the fact that there's an interim championship out there. That's me. You know what I mean? Apparently, he's going to be able to call himself, some type of way a world champion, even though we kind of know he's not really the WBC champion, obviously. But do you think this will do you think it'll lead to making him the full champion and then Wilder the franchise champion? Because I think there's a pattern I'm noticing in a way where I think the WBC is going to start doing this in more divisions.
Hey, it'll be cool if they made Wilder franchise champion. That way they can. It just plays Eddie Hearns and it plays Dillian Whyte off. It's just sticking it to him. But don't upgrade Dillian Whyte. That'll be the other thing. Make him fight someone else for whatever the regular title, whatever they want to call it, and let Wilder is going to do the proper things within the sport. Dillian Whyte, no, he's not going to do it. But I want to see Rivas put it into their dreams, their hopes, whatever they got going, the desperation of Matchroom. I want Rivas to put a real wrench in everything they think they planned for.
Well, I mean, I get your point as far as I get that, right? But my thing is it's a greater thought process. Like, do we really what if this leads? If this is just the beginning of them doing this in every division, like a full champion, franchise champion? You know what I mean? That I don't want. You know what I mean? It's not something I want. But we'll see how that goes. Okay, we'll see if this leads to anything. I know Wilder did say he did tell Dillian Whyte, "Hey, keep winning, I'll knock you out eventually." So we will see. Now the question is he going to win? Okay, Dillian Whyte, of course, born in Jamaica. The dude resides in London, England. He's 25-1 with 18 KOs. His only loss coming by AJ in a fight that he claims he was injured in. Do you buy that he was injured in that Or do you know that was confirmed, Reggie, if he was injured for that AJ fight?
Hell no, he's another cat that won't accept defeat. Nah, he wasn't injured. He wasn't injured when he hurt AJ.
Right, exactly. And even if he was, I mean, boxers don't ever go 100%. Everybody knows that. You're never 100% when you go into a fight. I'm sure there was something nagging AJ too. You know what I mean? So I just don't buy that. But either way, maybe he used that Manny Pacquiao salt water. I think that might have cured him. Who knows? But he does have a high percentage KO, man. Out of 25 fights, 18 knockouts. But that's expected with heavyweights, to be honest with you. Oscar Rivas, 26 fights, 18 knockouts. They have just about the same knockout ratio. Both orthodox fighters. Of the two, they both have good left hooks. To me, Dillian Whyte has the better of the left hooks, in my opinion, but I think that's all Dillian Whyte really has. I think Dillian Whyte's jab is more of a push jab. I don't like his jab at all. It irritates me when I see Dillian Whyte jab. He's a decent puncher, Dillian Whyte, man. But it is the heavyweight division. All these guys can crack to a certain degree. Dillian Whyte's a little above average when it comes to punching power. He's open or right hands, though, man. Parker dropped him with the right hand. Anthony Joshua couldn't miss with the right hand. I mean, he was almost aiming at him, hitting him with the right hand over and over again. And then, of course, Rivas is good at putting punches together, but he's kind of slow, in my opinion, from what I saw. I know he's a heavyweight, but even for a heavyweight, he's kind of slow to me. His overhand right is really good, though, and it's the one thing that sticks in my mind when I think about Dillian Whyte being open to right hands. But even though he's slow, he kind of reminds me of like a Miguel Cotto, who's also not that fast, but he's good at putting punches together, pretty good at timing as well. So he does, make it, he makes up for it in that department. Do you think Rivas's right hand is going to be trouble for Dillian Whyte, Reggie Owens? And how do you see the fight going?
Yeah, I definitely see it. Exactly what you point out, exactly what I saw in the fights. His punch placements are nice. I like the way that he targets down to the body. He comes off or he leads off with that left, and then he loops in with that overhand right. But there's a mistake that he makes when he's throwing that overhand right, is he has that tendency of dipping to the left in order to throw weight into it and coming over with that overhand right. And that may be an opportunity where Dillian Whyte can check him with a right hook. Yes. But I think Dillian Whyte will go into some defensive mode while he's seeing that punch coming rather than trying to counter it with a punch. But Rivas will work him, because before Rivas throws that punch, he always sets it up and leads it with that left hand. He comes over loops over, and he catches people kind of behind the ear, which knocks them a little bit, knocks what they call the equilibrium or whatever.
Yes.
Knocks him a little bit off, and he goes right into the attack mode. I would like to see him do that, but he's not the only one throwing punches, because Dillian's going to be cracking. And early on, Dillian's going to be letting off some heavy thunder up in there. And it's just, I want to see how well Rivas can absorb some of the punches that are coming from Dillian Whyte. But once he's able to find out where he needs to be, how to take a Dillian Whyte punch, he's coming straight forward for Dillian Whyte. And Dillian Whyte is real sloppy when it comes to defense. And I think Rivas will, I hate to always try to call for a knockout. I hate to always think fights are going for knockouts, but I want to say there may be a late stoppage in this one. If not, going to the scorecards,
okay,
Rivas is going to have to definitely, for it to go to scorecards, Rivas has to make clear separation in each of these rounds, being that he don't want a hometown cooking going on for Dillian Whyte. So he really is going to have to work in this one.
Yeah, man, I agree with that. But all Rivas, look, honest to God, man, as long as you get it, like, you just got to circle away from the left hook of Whyte, man, because I'm not that impressed with his jab, first of all, okay? But if you circle away from his hook and force him to use his right hand, he's going to have a hard time with Rivas. And this is going to be a close fight, in my opinion. I think this is not a guarantee for Dillian Whyte, right? I'm gonna roll with Dillian Whyte by controversial decision, bro. That's my prediction. What do you think of that?
I think you may be right on that one. That's what I'm saying. Rivas is going to have to really go to work. He's
Yeah.
really going to have to make these rounds clear. He's going to have to get off the more effective punches. He can't be in there getting hit by Dillian Whyte, letting him get off punches. He's going to really have to put in work, and not to be. He's going to have to pace himself, not to be looking to go in there and crush Dillian Whyte. He's going to have to set things up, break Dillian Whyte, then step on the gas if they hit the midpoint of that fight. But if he's staying in there close, taking rounds off, he's definitely losing going to the judges' scorecard. If he can separate himself, win rounds clearly, he can win on the scorecard. Otherwise, he's going to have to definitely go for a stoppage. But
Man,
he'll start the break late.
I think Whyte's going to taste the canvas at least one time in this fight. He's going to get hit with that overhand right. And like I don't see him getting away from it. So Whyte might get stopped late in this fight. He does fade a lot late. So I'm still rolling with Whyte by decision. I think it's going to go the distance. I know AJ10 doesn't see it going the distance. I get where you guys are coming from, but I'm going to roll with Whyte by decision. What's your official prediction again, Reggie?
I got for Oscar. I'm going for Oscar, but for Oscar to win, he's going to probably have to get that late stoppage. Otherwise, it's going to Dillian Whyte unless he's separating them rounds. So I want Rivas by late stoppage. Only way he gets a decision is to win each of one of these rounds by a clear separation of the two. So definitely going for Rivas.
Absolutely. Make sure you guys throw a jab. Okay. Throw a jab at the like button. Okay. Let's get to 15. Operation 15. One more like to get a 15. Let's get to 20 by the end of this live stream. That's always the goal. Okay. So make sure you guys throw that. Where do you think the winner? I know you kind of stated where we kind of see Dillian Whyte going or not going if he wins this fight. But if Rivas wins this fight, becomes WBC interim champion, it looks like they'll probably do that Wilder fight, right? I mean, and how do you see that fight going? I think Wilder knocks him out, but how do you think it goes?
Yeah, I think Wilder will definitely get either one of them out. But I think they're going to be stuck in a holding pattern because I think we're going to go right into that undisputed fight after if Wilder gets past Ortiz. I think we're going to go straight into yeah. So Rivas and Dillian, I don't know who else is out there. They'll probably have to go for Adam Konecki, most definitely. Definitely okay. Konecki. I think he'll get past Chris Arreola.
He should. Absolutely. I found my I don't know if you guys noticed, right? I found my look at this. I found a Sharpie, right? Got my notes. I mean, it's great. I got notes with the Sharpie. It's crazy. I think Reggie Owens was impressed with my notes. But
oh, yeah. Great notes, man. Great notes.
But man, this Saturday isn't the only day that's got big fights, Reggie. So there's a fight on Friday night. Teofimo Lopez, according to box rec number 12 in the world, against Masayashi. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Nakatani, right? Who I did not know. I'll be honest. I did not know anything about this guy until today. I found what I could today, about 2 hours ago. Watched what I could. He's ranked number 8 in the world right now. By the way, Teofimo Lopez from Honduran blood, by the way. A lot of people think he's Mexican. He's actually has Honduran blood. But he's from Brooklyn, New York, man. It's good to see some fighters from Brooklyn, New York making some noise, man. Brooklyn has had a lot of great fighters in the history of boxing. It's good to see a guy from Brooklyn, finally making some noise right there. And I think Teofimo Lopez is special, man. But El Brooklyn, as they call him, okay, against Nakatani. Nakatani's nickname is all Chinese letters. Like, if I'm supposed to know what that means. Like, I don't know what that means. I don't read Chinese, bro. I'll tell you what I do. I do jab the like button, though. All right? And another thing I do is that I vote for Morales. Okay, make sure you go to the community page on my channel, vote on the poll. The poll's going to close at the end of this show. Who are we going to celebrate next week? We will see. Reggie, 13-0 with 11 knockouts is Lopez, 85% knockout ratio. For that weight class, bro, that's high, dude. Okay, any weight class 135, sub 135 with a 80% plus is a high knockout ratio. Okay, and Nakatani himself has about a 67% knockout ratio. Even that's kind of impressive. He's 18-0 with 12 KOs. Orthodox. You guys will notice Teofimo Lopez is not listed on BoxRec as orthodox or southpaw, and I think I know why. He does fight out of southpaw. I'm sorry, orthodox from mid-range in the distance. But I'll touch in a little bit as to why I don't think they have him on there in any stance. But this is Lopez's first time in the top 10. Now, I never heard of this dude before today, Reggie, so I don't blame you if you haven't heard of him either. But have you seen Nakatani fight at all?
Yeah, I was watching a little bit of him earlier in the day, and
okay,
I'll go watch
too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you wanted me to give a break on him?
Oh, yeah. Well, what are your thoughts on this fight, man?
On this one, man, Nakatani, he tall, man. He's tall as hell for this division. His thing is he likes to work off that jab, but he thinks too much. He takes too long to think. And he's very slow to react on things. He's not a person that's going to lead on action. He tries to find out what his opponent is going to do before he shoots out that jab. There's nothing on that jab when he's throwing it. Teofimo's going to have to be patient, Teofimo wants to go under the mode of kind of becoming a knockout artist. He has to kind of sit that to the backside and resort to being a boxer that's going to figure out how to get in with this dude, break this guy down, and using he's very good on his feet. This dude is kind of not so good at pivoting. What's the name is going to be able to turn him around, shifting him from side to side, working his way on the inside. This guy's just way too slow at thinking. He keeps his hands very low. He doesn't hold the guard up properly. Teofimo, being super reactive, is going to find his moments to catch this guy. It's going to be timber, man. It's going to be a timber time up in that ring. Teofimo's definitely knocking this guy out. Most definitely is. And it's a showcase to set him up for a Lomachenko bout, possibly.
Yeah, man, they're definitely setting up. I don't know if Top Rank's going to throw him with Lomachenko just yet. I think he needs about 2-3 more fights before that. But if they do it, they do it. Teofimo Lopez, to me, first thing that comes to mind is explosive, right? He does have power on both hands. And he has this beautiful uppercut that he throws down the middle, right? He sometimes throws it to the body, especially with inside fighters, or he could throw it up top, right? But he also throws to the body to the left and the right. And the one thing I notice is his transitions from orthodox to southpaw when he's on the inside are beautiful. And he keeps those punches coming, and he switches to orthodox, southpaw as he's coming forward, throwing body shots, and he also does it down the middle, switches lead hands with that uppercut. He's really fast, even for this weight class, and he's just smooth. He's a smooth fighter, and I do agree with you. He has to kind of stop looking for that one punch out knockout. If the one punch knockout comes, it comes. I would like to see him concentrate a little more on that body work and boxing a little more, especially at mid-range. And that's what I think. I like him to set up the jab a little bit more. He has a decent jab, but I don't think he uses it as much as he should. Nakatani, tall. I think, isn't it do like 5'11"? I forgot to write it down, but from up top, I think I remember 5'11".
Yeah, 5'11".
That's insane. Okay, tall dude, long reach. In fact, I have it right here. Let me just kind of tell everybody here. Nakatani's 5'11" and a half, dude. He's almost 6 feet tall. All right, and I want people to understand here. He's a lightweight that's almost 6 feet tall. He has a 71-inch reach. That's a longer reach than Keith Thurman, who's calling Pacquiao T-Rex arms. All right. And now it's not much of a reach advantage. Teofimo has 6'8.5", but still there's about that 3-inch reach advantage by Nakatani, plus the height. One way I kind of wish that I know Haplotype has mentioned this before, that I kind of wish they would do the measurements is from the armpit to the end of the fist. They don't really do that anymore because I think that's more relevant than the reach. I don't know if you agree with that, Reggie, but they don't. HBO used to do that, but no one else really does measurements like that anymore.
Right. No, I definitely agree. It should be done like that. Give you more an accurate account on what that reach is. Boxing wise, what that reach really is.
Absolutely. Now, Nakatani keeps his hands at a low guard for the most part, from what I've noticed. He has a pretty decent 1-2. I'll give him that. Really good 1-2. He has a wide right, though. Nakatani, the dude, is like this. And I don't know if you noticed it when you watch the moments, but he'll throw the hook wide. Like it's like way over here where the ref is. And it finally arrives. I think that's too much time. Too much time to give a Teofimo Lopez, in my opinion. I think Teofimo Lopez is going to catch him when he starts throwing. He's going to time that hook, and he's going to come in with a faster hook of his own or a straight punch, but Teofimo can also land. Okay, Teofimo's straights are pretty lethal. So I do see him knocking out Nakatani inside 8 rounds, more or less. I think it'll be a KO, not a TKO. I think it's going to knock him out. I think it's going to wear him down. He's going to land clean, probably drop him once or twice, and then put him away. That's my official prediction of this fight. What do you think of that, Reggie? You agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree because there's a fight I watched on what's the name Nagatani. It's a fight that I watched of him. It was a fight in which he was fighting against this inside pressure fighter. He was real uncomfortable in there when his fighter was moving on the inside. This fighter used great head movement, getting low, getting up under his shots, and really bringing pressure to him, kind of muscling him around, moving him around. He didn't look comfortable in there at all, and he's going to face that against a higher caliber opponent in Teofimo than he's faced over in Japan. I think with this dude, he was a dude who the Japanese look for. The Japanese look for kind of sideshow appeal to the type of athletes they prop up, and that's exactly who hush man. That's exactly who Nagatani is for them, and they haven't been putting him in there with opposition to prepare him. And I think he's gonna go in here and face something he's never seen, and a Teofimo Lopez. But I definitely agree with you. He's going out there probably about 7 rounds, most definitely. And Teofimo has to make it uncomfortable for him.
Yeah, I think he will make him comfortable. I think Nakatani's going to think the ref's hitting him. Okay, I don't think he's going to see a lot of these punches coming, to be honest with you. And his reaction time is not really that good. That's one thing you said that I definitely agree with. Without a shadow of a doubt, I want to give a shout out to Brian David in the chat saying, "What's up, fam? What's going on?" And Agent 10, I can tell you if Nakatani wins, Steve Kim will move him to the top 5 pound for pound. That'll be interesting. I don't think Nakatani's going to win, man. Okay, he's a good regional fighter. He could fight in Japan, and I'm not saying he's bad or anything, but Lopez is world class, and I think we're going to see that in this fight for sure. You have any final thoughts about this fight in particular, Reggie?
No, I just want to see how Teofimo deals. Because did you see the weigh-in, like the size advantage? I just want to see how intelligent Teofimo is. I want to see the intelligence of Teofimo going in and overcoming the advantages in height and also in reach, and just seeing how calmly he can be in this fight and do the intelligent thing of effectively fighting this guy, not just trying to bulldoze through him. Taking on, the mindset that he's been in with being a knockout artist. I just want to observe him from that standpoint. I know he's going to win, but I want to see how intelligently he performs and getting, however, the victory is pulled off. That's what I want to see out of Teo, because he's going to need intelligence if he thinks he's going to fight Lomachenko. He's definitely going to have to show that he's intelligent enough to figure things out.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. Without a doubt, man. I just think Teofimo is just too much for this guy. Teofimo should be ranked in the top 10 after this performance, without a shadow of a doubt. Come on, BoxRec, put him in top 10 after this win. Really quick, man. What are your thoughts on Canelo? Canceling the date. He's not going to fight on Mexican Independence Day. Said he wants to do right by his fans and find a good opponent rather than forcing a fight on that date. What do you think?
Man, that's some straight up sucker-ish. That he to even come up with an excuse like that. I think his fans gonna start to side-eye him because there's too much good opposition within the division he's in, and it's just kindly a clear sight that he don't want any real competition when it comes to those who are in his weight class. I think he wants to go on this pursuit of kind of remaining as a one-loss fighter. Being the Floyd thing really didn't take nothing away from him, just based on who Floyd Mayweather is. I think he's trying to take this easy task of maneuvering through boxing, of only having that one blemish, or maybe the draw is a blemish on his record, and trying to do things, but it ain't working that way. And now it's putting him and the zone at odds with one another. This is a big moment. How you gonna let this moment slide by when there's another dude on your side? What's the excuse with the Andrade? What's the Charlo excuse? It makes absolutely no sense. It's a coward move. That's what, and you've been on him very tough. And what the criticisms he's been getting, he's deserved it. It's worthy criticism. This dude,
definitely, it's warranted.
Yeah, it's warranted. He has to, as a high caliber fighter, you have to take on the top opposition that is out there. There's no excuse for avoiding these fights and acting as if these cats don't exist. These cats don't even get mentioned when he brings up potential challengers. So that's the other coward side to it. But there's no reason. He's not hurt. Nothing's wrong with him to not take on this fight.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I want to give a reminder to everybody, make sure you vote Morales, okay, please. And make sure you jab the like button, all right? And the polls are going to close in 16 minutes. Let me actually, let me take a look here. Let's take a look at these polls right now, okay? I'm going to pull them up really quick. Let's see here. I'm pretty sure Roy is still leading. I just want to know if Hopkins is going to survive, man. I want you guys to look at this, okay? This is a DStyleBoxing channel. Look, you see that? Are you able to see that, Reggie?
I can see the top, but yeah, I see your page name and community, but I can't see anything on the screen.
Okay, it's kind of bright, right? I got you.
Yeah.
But not a problem. But that's where you go. You go to community, guys. Right now, this moment, with 15 minutes to go, Bernard Hopkins is at 11%. We got to keep this dude alive, man. Okay? 11% for Hopkins in his third week. Roy Jones, dominating 51%. This is the only fighter that's had over 50% since we started these polls. El Terrible with 18%. I think he's safe, but you never know. Vote Morales. Okay. Miguel Cotto with 21%. And make sure you guys vote, man. We had 73 votes. We already met the threshold. You guys make sure you check that out. And, of course, AJ10 that posted in the chat. So you guys can check that out. All the percentages. Hashtag keep Hopkins alive. Who did you vote for, Reggie?
Oh, of course, my boy Roy Jones, man. I couldn't bypass Roy, man.
Yeah, he dominated the eliminator. He dominated this. He's dominating this. He's definitely going to win by the looks of it. But make sure you guys vote. Vote for Hopkins. Keep him alive. All right. Vote for Morales. Vote for somebody. Just go vote. Vote now. All right. Maybe if you're listening on a cell phone, you guys could actually go and click on DStyle. You can still hear it. Okay. Community. Scroll to the poll. Vote. We will announce that the official winner in a little bit, but there's a forecast tonight. It's dying down a little bit, but it's still a desert storm. Okay. We're still at the tail end of the desert storm. It's coming to an end. Reggie, I kind of covered this guy's whole career, but already, but what are some of your favorite Bradley fights or memories, moments, not his commentating career, but as a fighter?
Man, most definitely Him versus Provodnikov, probably my favorite. That fight got to go in my all-time top three. Definitely that. And I like the work he put in when he beat Marquez as well. Unfortunately, I like Marquez, but he fought beautifully in that fight. He went down to the body of Marquez. I like the way he attacked on that one. And the Provodnikov fight, man, I thought he was almost gonna die in that fight. But definitely
Yeah.
that Provodnikov is probably, like I say, top three. It can probably even be the top two best fights I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah, that fight was amazing, and I was talking about it yesterday with Calix. You know how they talk about all the wars, like the Corrales Castillo, Morales Barrera one, even the Arturo Gatti making Ward fights, like those type of wars. No one ever mentioned Corrales Castillo. I think I reset that, but just to make sure. No one ever really mentions this fight. This fight was a war, dude. Like it's if they ever had, like, I think there should be a Hall of Fame for fights. You know what I mean? If they do or they don't, I'm not sure. I don't think they do. But they have to put certain fight, like Thrill in Manila. They have to put fights in the Hall of Fame. This fight would be a Hall of Fame fight. You know what I mean? This fight was a war. Like Bradley went out there and beat Provodnikov at his own game. He almost got knocked out in the first round. He barely survived doing it, but he did it. He came off with a victory. He fought this guy's fight. He never tried that again. Okay, but the experiment, he didn't want to try it again, which was smart. And then to come out and be like, well, now I'm gonna box and outbox Marquez, the maestro at boxing. I had to fight close. I had 7 rounds to fight for Bradley. It was a hell of a boxing fight. That was a hell of a chess match. Love that fight. But as far as that goes, man, I love that fight for sure, man. What do you think it was about? Are there any let me ask you, actually, how did you score the Pacquiao fight, the first one?
I had Pacquiao winning 7. It was a 12 round
Yeah.
fight, and I had Pacquiao winning. Dang, what is 7 rounds to 5? I can't remember the score on it, but I definitely had Pacquiao pulling that fight on because I remember. I think that's the fight where he ended up pulling something in his leg. Bradley was effective early on before that happened. Once that injury happened to him, Pacquiao was able to start pulling away from me. But the judges, because I remember Pacquiao was doing some real weird things. He came out late. There was a huge delay in the fight based on something going wrong, Pacquiao catching cramps or something. So I don't know if he upset the judges or what, but I thought he got an unfair judgment in that fight. And I just thought that was them sticking it to him. But I thought Pacquiao definitely pulled away from that fight after the leg injury to Bradley. But Bradley was real competitive in it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, it was. I think, when he hurt his leg, right, and I kind of had it like you. I had it 7 rounds to 5 Pacquiao. You know what I mean? I scored it for Pacquiao as well. I had 3 co-hosts this week before you, man, that all had or 2, 3. Beeb, Calix, and G-Funk. What's going on, bro? All had Bradley winning that fight, which was at the start contra. I know you had Pacquiao winning, but did you sense like there was a bias from HBO though? Like they made it sound like Bradley won on no rounds.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But for the longest years, I got in the habit where I don't even listen to commentary.
Yeah.
So I don't even remember what Jim Lampley was saying. I turn the volume off when I watch fights, and it's all because of years of watching Jim Lampley and Larry Merchant. I just had to turn off volume. So I don't even remember what they were saying in that one. But I can bet they were definitely probably playing Bradley out. But Bradley fought a good fight, man. They were expecting Pacquiao to knock him out, and I think that's the reason that I'm pretty sure during the buildup of this fight they were counting Bradley not even be able to last in this fight, should never been in the ring with him, and he proved them wrong, I bet. And that's probably why they want to pitch off some other views to fans, because fans don't know how to think for themselves. They can watch video or something. The minute you tell them something different, they'll go with it. And I believe that was the intentions of Jim Lampley if they were doing that during commentary.
Most definitely. Now, Brian David says the dates don't matter anymore for him. He's talking about Canelo. He makes the same amount of money. Absolutely. So he could fight in December. He has no incentive. So it was always a bunch of bullshit when he was complaining about wanting those dates. When Mayweather had him, he was full of shit. Now, Brian David also says Riddick Bowe Holyfield, first fight for a Hall of Fame entry. Absolutely. That fight was a war. Great fight. Harold Letterman had a 119 or 109 for Pacquiao. That is insane to me, bro. Because before Bradley hurt his ankle, whatever, I mean, he won some rounds in there, in my opinion. So that was crazy, man. But as far as Bradley, man, um, what is it that you liked more about Bradley, man? Like, well, what's as a fighter, what impressed you more about the guy?
His heart, man. His heart, man. And I think throughout his life, I think he spoke about how people just always counted him out. He's a small guy. People just never thought he will accomplish what he accomplished. And I don't think I ain't checked. I think he only lost to Pacquiao. He's an accomplished fighter. And even what that Provodnikov, like you're saying, he was hurt in the first damn round. And then even in the second round, this dude was concussed, and to last in a fight like that, where this dude is just the Provodnikov was hitting him with some heavyweight uh impacted type shots, and this dude concussed out on his feet, and his heart and instincts just kicked in. This dude went 12 rounds with this dude, and he started. I think he almost knocked. Did he drop Provodnikov? But I know he hurt him. Provodnikov was busted up, and then in that post fight, to hear Bradley speak, he was concussed. He didn't know what the hell happened. It just showed the heart of him. But before that, I was when him and Devin Alexander went at it. It's kind of where I was like, yeah, this dude is kind of the real deal. And but Provodnikov like really put me over the edge. Like this dude is the truth. He's a true warrior, man. Because any fighter who would have went through that, you would have seen them find a way out, or they would have quit. But Tim Bradley has the heart, man, and a lot of people only seem to want to notice him for what he's doing and the little buffoonery he's doing as a commentator. When it comes to fighting, this dude is like the quintessential warrior when it comes to the sport of boxing, man. He just entertained, man. All of his, you never seen a born Tim Bradley fight. He went in there to bang it out, and I don't know why he didn't become a bigger star. Not sure what that is, man.
That definitely. Well, what do you think of fantasy fights? Somebody AJ10 just put it, and Brian David says Bradley used that big ass hit a lot. AJ10 fantasy fight, Maidana versus Bradley, bro. How do you think that fight would have played out at 140?
Man, that should have been a war. It would have been that would have definitely been a war, man. Bradley, I don't see Madonna knocking Bradley out, man. Man, dang, that's a cool one right there. It'll definitely be some thunder. It'll probably be. I don't think Madonna exchanges like Provodnikov. I think Bradley would have got him up out of there. Bradley would have easily been targeting the body of Maidana. He probably could have got Maidana up out of there.
I agree. Maidana before he got with Robert Garcia, but after he got with Robert Garcia, I think that's a tough fight. That would be at 147 though. So at 147, I think Maidana wins. At 140 though, before Maidana got with Bradley, I agree. I think Bradley takes it. I don't know if he stops him, but I think he takes it by 12th round. Might look a lot like the Lamont Peterson fight, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can see that. But I think even at 147, Bradley's going to bang with him, man, because Bradley will kind of match the level of whatever his opponent is doing, and that'd have been a dope fight, man. Why that fight never happened, man? Madonna wasn't there yet, right?
Well, I mean, they kind of, I think it just never materialized. It's just one of those things, you know what I mean? So it's that's how boxing is sometimes. Fights just don't happen. The scheduling of the fighters and stuff like that. But Bradley was definitely tough to stop. Bam Bam Tweet in the house. Bam Bam finally showed up. Look at this. The show's not complete until Bam Bam Tweet shows up. All right. Holding it down. Who do you got, man? Because we got 3 more minutes before the poll closes. Ugas Figueroa. What was your prediction for that fight, man?
I like Ugas in that one. And Figueroa said something, man, that really bugged me that he came out and stated when they asked him for his prediction. And he made the first thing that started to come out his mouth is if I stay healthy. Why would you bring that up? If I stay healthy, I can finish him. He just has too much of an awkward style where he's easy to hit. You guys can just change the style up on him. You guys can go from boxing this dude, moving around, and then bang with him. Get a little bit of changing it up. Uh, Bring the fight to however Figueroa wants to fight it, and see who's more effective at that. And then take him on the outside and start banging with him. But he can get in there, roughhouse him to see if he can bring about one of these injuries that seems to plague Figueroa, and just take him from there. But Figueroa, I just was troubled by him making the statement about his health. But I think I got you guys in this one. You guys got to start bringing the pressure. He got to learn from what he didn't pull, what he should have stepped up on against Sean Porter, because he's right at the crest of stepping into title contention, and I think he's hungry for a title shot, another title shot. I think he's definitely going here and bring it to Figueroa. He's going to rough it up, bring it back to boxing. He's just going to change it up on Figueroa. But the thing is, to go in there, roughhouse Figueroa, see how fragile he is. But Figueroa is just way too he's this weird style. Can't even think of the word, but a real unorthodox style. And I think you guys should just pick him apart, man.
Yeah, Figueroa likes the inside, man. You know what I mean? He likes to come in, blocks the shots this way, kind of with the glove. Have you ever noticed when he comes in? And the one thing is I think the inside is his wheelhouse, bro. I picked Figueroa to win this fight, but it's going to be close. I think this fight is probably the closest of all the fights this weekend, in my opinion. I know that sounds crazy to say, but what about you have any thoughts on Luis Neri from Tijuana, Mexico? What do you think, man? Do you have any thoughts on him? Any brief thoughts?
Yeah, now I know who he is, because I remember someone was bringing that up when I was live about him, and I couldn't figure out who he was, but the name was familiar. I remember I covered him during one of his fights. I did the play-by-play. He's a guy who lost that title, but I like his style. I like his style of fighting. He went in there against the one guy I just didn't think was on his level. I think he's definitely going to run through the guy that he's facing, who Inoue disposed of very easy. So I like to see him close this guy out in kind of the same fashion. And I definitely want to see what Inoue looks like against Neri, who is a former champion, who's undefeated, never lost it. He just lost it because of that thing. But I got him dusting that guy off, man. Ain't no competition for that dude. This dude, Neri can really get in there and thump it out. I like his style of fighting, man.
Yeah,
he mixes very well.
Neri, man, let me tell you, he's from Tijuana, Baja California, the same spot Morales is from. I mean, he's got to be good, okay? But I like Neri a lot, man. This guy, I think he's going to be some, and I think I honestly think he's going to expose Inoue if they ever fight. Okay, I don't know if that fight will happen, but I think he would expose Inoue, to be honest with you. You never know, of course, but I think he's the best fighter in his weight class. And finally, Lipinets against Molina. What are your thoughts on that, bro?
Lipinets about to be like a tank up in there. He about to run through Molina, man. And I think his new statement that he's going to make is putting people in retirement. He's definitely retiring Molina after this fight.
Yeah, 92 KU says Lipinets versus Neri. Fire. Lipinets. Inoue versus Neri. I'm sorry. Fire. And it says Lipinets by KO. All right, guys. The polls are closed. I'm going to go right now. All right. I'm going to take a screenshot. And Reggie, it's official. With 74 votes in, Bernard Hopkins stays alive. He will go to his fourth week next week at 11%. Eric Morales, third place with 18%. He will go to his second week next week. Miguel Angel Cotto will go to his third week. He got 20%. And Roy Jones Jr. with a majority vote with 51% of the vote. Look at this. I think it's the most votes one guy's ever gotten because it's 51% of them. So Roy Jones Appreciation Week. That's not going to start tomorrow, though. We're going to start that next week, guys. Next Friday. So 7 days from today is Roy Jones Week. Nobody forgot. I guess it's nobody forgot. Everybody voted for Roy. What are your thoughts, man? Roy Jones Jr. Week.
I'm loving it, man. Roy is the man, dude. Roy is the man. So yeah, I can't wait to hear that. Bring recognition back to Roy. But I just knew he was gonna win. I don't think it's too many people that will beat out Roy Jones.
Yeah.
The only people who be competitive in him would oppose probably Mike Tyson.
Ali.
I can't even say Floyd Mayweather and Ali. Yeah, that's probably about the only two I can think. I don't think Floyd Mayweather would beat Roy Jones out.
Yeah. What about an Andre Ward? You think people would have voted for Ward?
Hell no, he probably wouldn't even got 3%. As great as he is, that's why profile building is huge. He'll go. People wouldn't even. They'll look past the name if he was put on there, and that's unfortunate, man.
Wow. I don't know, man. We're going to put him in there in a couple weeks. I'm not sure. I think it's going to come back, though. I don't want to do an appreciation week for dudes that are going to come back. You know what I mean? So it's got to be 100% sure. And it's the same with Mayweather. I have a feeling dude's going to come out and fight again. Roy won easily, man. It's there we go. This is the most dominating performance, and how fitting, right? Because in his prime, the Zoo was dominating. Reggie, Pacquiao Thurman. What was your official prediction on that?
I'm going for Pacquiao by decision. I just think he's going to outwork this dude, Thurman. The volume is going to be there. Keith is uncomfortable with someone stepping forward like Pacquiao. Pacquiao will be able to avoid some of the counter shots that Thurman's going to throw off. He'll get in and out, score his points, get in and out, and he'll pull off this decision victory. Keith's going to find himself in desperation mode, trying to secure a knockout and doing all this other different stuff. But I think Pacquiao is going to pull this off. He's going to show this guy what an old vet can do. But I'm definitely going for Manny Pacquiao by decision.
Yeah, I got the same thing, man. I got the same thing. I know people feel differently. Look at Brian David says the Pac Thurman card is stacked. Batman 2, when Roy got knocked out, I had to kick everybody out of the house because they were cheering. I was pissed. Wow. He said, like, get the fuck out of my house. Look at that. Was that the Tarver one or the Johnson one? Because both were brutal, bro. AJ 10, Mayweather will come back and fight Muay Thai fighter in boxing. Look at that. Right? That's crazy. Add Fida Trinidad to the poll. We'll get there. We're going by decade, but Trinidad is pretty close, actually. Don't spoil anything now. Brian David says usually good big man beats good little man in boxing. Well, I know why you're saying that, Brian David. Okay. No doubt about that. I know why you're saying that. 92 AKU says I got Subway guy over white chocolate, Jason Williams. All right. Any final thoughts, Reggie, before we wrap this up?
Man, I'm just saying, final thoughts, man. Can't wait for Friday, matter of fact, to kick things off. And then Saturday, man, overload. It's going to be circuit overload with all this boxing. We got the UK fights. Then we kick into the Fox thing, and then the pay-per-view. Man, we overloaded with boxing. We've been overloaded with boxing for all this year, man. I think I've been spending all my Saturdays loading up with boxing, and I'm loving it. But man, always great to get on here with you, talk this great boxing conversations, and can't wait for Saturday. Am I gonna call with you on go on with you for the Dillian Whyte fight?
Well, I'll give you I'll give you an update on that because work's kind of forcing me to work that day.
Right.
And Pacquiao Thurman is a big reason why, but that's a different story. Sell It Plant, we did talk about that, man. You can catch that on the archive. It's if I'm not mistaken, Reggie, I think it's the first fight we covered today. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that was the first one. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Look at that, the notes. All I have to do is look at the notes. All right. But definitely, it's right there, bro. Look at that. Sell It Plant. Okay, he's right there against Mike Lee. We covered that fight. Check that out. Now, somebody asking right now, am I going to add Sergio Martinez? Bro, wasn't Sergio going to come back and fight this dude Chavez Jr. in a rematch, some bullshit like that? What happened
Yeah.
with that? Do you know?
No, that one I'm not too sure of. I'm not sure of that at all.
Yeah, because I don't want to do appreciation weeks for guys that are gonna come back, bro. Like, you know what I mean? That's the whole point is to do it for retired fighters. And for those that don't understand, we're going back, right? We started with fighters that retired 5 years ago, 10 years ago, then we're gonna go 15 years ago, 20 years ago, if you catch my drift, right? And we're gonna be adding fighters as we go. If you guys have anyone in particular you want to add it, the polls where to put it, okay? You put it on the comments, okay, or put it in the comment section down here. Okay, not in the chat. Do it in the comments. All right. Somebody put Tarver. You know, we could do Tarver. And then I always go with majority rules sometimes, and that's the guy we add. Okay. On Sunday night or Monday afternoon, one or the other, I'll be putting out the eliminator for who's going to advance to the main poll. Okay. For the championship poll. That is all we got tonight, Reggie. Tell everybody where they could find you.
Yes, indeed, man. You guys can find me on Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens. So once you're over there, please hit that like, subscribe, and share. Anytime I drop some content. And thank you guys for the support. And y'all do the same over here at DStyles.
Definitely. This is DStyleBoxing. And for Reggie Owens, keep it boxing. I'm out.